I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable. Performance no score. Every time they wanna clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stock, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
Welcome to week 2 of the British Basketball League. And if it's anything like the first extraordinary week, then we are in for a real treat. Tonight's game promises to be an epic clash between two teams who, between them, claimed all of last year's silverware. Two teams from different nations battling for the league's biggest prizes. If you want drama, you better grab your popcorn. This is about to be a blockbuster.
Every man dies. Not every man truly lives. This is the Clash of Champions. England versus Scotland, the old enemy. Two countries divided by geography, two teams divided by rivalry. Treble-winning London Lions, a team of superstars who refuse to lose. Trophy winners, Caledonia Gladiators, a team who fight to win, all the way to the bitter end.
In the corner for the win! Can you believe it?
The battle lines have been drawn. Welcome to the Lions' Den. This is the Clash of Champions.
Oh yes, it's the Clash of Champions. It's the London Lions against the Caledonia Gladiators. Both teams won their games in the opening weekend, but last season the Lions swept the Gladiators 4-0 in the league. Can new London Lions head coach Petar Boisic follow up the Lions' treble-winning season, or can Caledonia repeat their performance in the quarter-final of the trophy when they won by a whisker? We're live from the Lions' Den, the Copper Box in London's Olympic Park, and we're just over 10 minutes from tip-off. Well, this is one of the biggest games of the regular season. And after a game this magnitude, we need to bring in some big hitters into the studio. I've done exactly that. Ovi Soko, of course, former London Lion. And welcome to you, Mike Tuck, Sheffield Sharks legend. And Ovi, before we get into any of this, Mike Tuck standing next to you, be really polite. What a man this is. Let's talk about his career for a bit.
Oh, you said it. I mean, he's a legend. Anyone who can hang around as long as he's been able to do so, you know, you got to tip your hat off to him. In international basketball, it's not very common for guys to be able to play multiple seasons at the same team. So I think that's a testament to Mike.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, over 500 games in the league. You and I have met before. The Commonwealth Games, of course, you were the captain there. And just reflect on your career and what it's been like for you.
I mean, first off, I'm blushing. But thank you for that intro. But yeah, no, I've been extremely lucky in my career and you know, very happy that I was able to find a home in Sheffield. And, you know, the organization was just treated me amazing in the city as well. So very blessed to be in the position I'm in and happy to be here tonight back for British Basketball League basketball.
Look at those records. Look at those records. We need to print this, put it in a frame so you can send it back with you to Sheffield, because there's some stats. You remember all those points? I
mean, I was around long enough. I should be first place in a couple of those, you know what I mean?
Well, from one legend to another, it's Drew Lasker, our man on the court. Drew, how will the Lions set up tonight?
Well, Jeanette, we know the Lions are stacked, but tonight I'm focused on the Brits, beginning with the ace, Luke Nelson. The Gladiators got to make sure they keep him from getting from his left because he's an elite finisher. And if you take that away, you're in danger of the lob threat where Josh Sharma come sit on your head. The other guy right here, Mr. London, as we welcome him back home. And he's come back to the country with Louis V luggage because he's all business, in particular in the paint, where he's incredibly efficient with touch shots and hard rolls. Those other forwards on the other end got their hands full.
Gabe Olusheni finally playing his pro basketball in the UK. Now, he's been around. He's done some very good work within Europe. But for him to be back here, debut at the Copper Box tonight, a lot of people are going to be looking at him, and a lot of people are saying, Ovi, he's the real deal.
He's all mustache and smiles. It's good to see him back today. Here you see him running the floor. I mean, he does all the right things. He's the perfect kind of talent and player you want to bring back to the Lions and to the UK here. We see him hard rolling where he's most effective. He's able to get a lot of his scores or set up some of his teammates. And here we see him posting up. I mean, just a really, really solid signing for the London Lions.
And when you think about a player like him, Mike, he had a really good game last week, and it's the impact that we're looking for in the league, and someone like him can do that here.
Yeah, huge impact on the game last week. 13 points, 10 rebounds, double-double, MVP. But this is the type of the player that the league needs to retain. These type of British names, and in my opinion, this is the biggest British name to be signed back in the British Basketball League this season. Hats off to the London Lions.
Yeah, some incredible stats from last week. But what a task in Petar Bojic, what he's got to be able to do at London Lions, a brand new coach there, to be able to bring together these players to go even better than what they did last season. It's a big task.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but this is a guy, when I see his name, I think pedigree. As a player, as a coach, coming direct to the London Lions from the NBA, this guy has what it takes. He's kind of been through it at every single level. So he'll be ready to take on the task of coaching the London Lions.
Yeah, one of the players he'll be looking after alongside, of course, Olaseni is Luke Nelson. You know him well, a GB player as well, and somebody, collegiate from the States. He's come over here and he's really keen to make sure he makes his mark in that team.
I call Luke young old man.
Young old man.
And that's because the guy, he plays like a veteran. Obviously, he likes to attack right, but he finishes with his left much more than you would expect for a righty. But the guy's just a flat-out scorer. I mean, he does things the right way, he approaches the games the right way, and he doesn't turn down many shots. I think sort of working into his new role this year with more point guards being available will be a key for the Lions this year.
Okay, well, we are under 8 minutes away from tip-off. You can see Luke Nelson there getting ready, and we'll be back on the other side of this. Welcome back. When the season schedule came out, British basketball fans will have circled the 21st of September in their calendars. That's because tonight's game is the first time this season the treble-winning London Lions take on the trophy-winning Caledonia Giants. So how do the Scots beat the English? Here's Drew to explain.
Well, guys, they got to get it done from the guards position, and they've retooled at the PG spot with Ian DeBois. Mr. Do-It-All, can do a little bit of everything. He's really aggressive from the point guard spot, and you'll see him getting really busy tonight with the ball in his hands. But a guy that doesn't require the ball, Mr. GB International right here, Mr. Pat Whelan. You got to make sure This guy right here, he's all about the Benjamins because he's cash money from beyond the arc. So the Lions got to make sure they keep tabs on him, because if they let him loose, as we saw last week, he's like quick O's. He can heat up quick.
Do you know, I feel like we all need a Drew Lasker to just hype you up just before a game. But you can see him now, I'll be talking to Ian DuBose. Like, this is somebody who's actually a really good signing for the Gladiators.
Big time. I mean, he's an attacker. He's downhill. Everything he does, he tries to be aggressive, especially going to his right hand. You'll see him, he'll force the ball back going right, regardless, as you saw that thunderous dunk down the middle. Here again, going to the middle, got cut off, went to the mid-range. I'm not sure if that's really what he wants to do. And I'm interested, as you can see, he gets to the basket again, how the Manchester Giants weren't able to sort of stop him from just going to what he's good at.
Yeah, he's a flat-out scorer, but he also fills other aspects of the game. You know, great rebounder, has great court vision. He was a really big floor general for them last week. And at 6'4", you know, tough guy to start at that point guard position.
Yeah, and somebody who really wants to get some revenge, I'm sure, this evening is Pat Whelan. Of course, the former Leicester rider, lost to the London Lions last year in the playoffs. Tell me what you think he brings to this Gladiators team. I
think this is one of the biggest signings that the Gladiators made over the summer, and a big surprise signing, I think, throughout the league. But Pat Whelan is one of those guys, or he doesn't need the ball in his hands to score. He can, you know, he's great at the catch and shoot. He's great on the drive, but he doesn't need the ball all the time in his hands. And as we can see here, he's able to score in multiple different ways. And man, did he get hot last week in Manchester. I think he's going to have a great season if that's the first game of the season for them.
And that's the thing, his numbers from last week, his performance from last week, it really has set him apart, hasn't it?
I mean, Mr. Consistency, his numbers from last week, his numbers in Canada, his numbers last year have been terrific around the board. And I'm really interested to see if he has that dog in him. You know, the London Lions, I would have expected him to be one of the hot prospects that they would have went after as far as productivity from a British player. So we'll see if he's taken that a little bit personally.
Well, we'll see if he has taken it personally. But let's also hear the thoughts of both head coaches.
Everybody wants to play at this level, right? We want the crowd behind us. We want the crowd against us. We love the atmosphere. We're going to go into environments this year in Europe where we have that same thing. So we're looking forward to it.
Home debut tonight. What are you expecting from the London crowd?
It's our first home game, so I expect reunion with our fans, and I expect a very good game.
I'm happy the people above me have decided to let me take charge of the team for 3 years. They have faith in me. I think I proved myself last year winning the trophy for the club, but I'm happy they have my back, basically.
Petter, 34 days ago you were named head coach. How are you settling in?
Great. Firstly, because of the people, that they really accepted me and all that, and helped me with that transition.
Well, we can look now to see how they will be lining up. Mike, have a look at this starting five for the London Lions. Any surprises there? We can see Olaseni. No doubt he's going to come and really try his best here tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, great starting lineup here. Very similar to last week. Saluade up in the starting lineup now, but I think that connection between Nelson and Olaseni will be key tonight.
And the depth as well, that's something we have to look at here. Look at that bench too.
The London Lions, I mean, they're going to be a deep team. We have to see how they respond to that, how all of the different talents sort of fit into these roles. So I think that's one of the other factors that Coach Boyzic is going to have to deal with.
Okay, and have a look here now at the Caledonia Gladiators. Mike, any surprises here for you?
The biggest change right here is bringing Prince Onwest into the starting lineup. Now, obviously, Onwest came off the bench in the last game versus the Manchester Giants, and I think the bench really carried their team last week, scoring over 50 points of that game. So bringing Onwest into the starting lineup will help give that starting lineup the firepower it needs instead of the slow start it had last week.
Okay, we shall see. It's tip-off. Tip-off will be happening right after this in the company of Azania Stewart and Dan Routledge.
Well, we're almost ready for tip-off here at the Copper Box. Azania, London and Caledonia won all the trophies last year. Both will want a psychological landing of a blow on the opponent tonight.
Yeah, and I think this game is so important to see how the rest of the season's going to be. I think it's going to be an exciting one. Obviously, at Lions and Coach Gareth is going to see how he matches up against the #1 team in the league.
Well, Gareth Murray and his Gladiators started really badly in Manchester last week. Took them over 5.5 minutes to get a field goal on the board. 13 points down they were in the first quarter. They can't afford a slow start as we get it underway here in the Copper Box, and the ball goes back, and it is Patrick Whelan and the Gladiators who'll get the first possession of the game. Both looking for options. Whelan. He's got the big Arashani in front of him. The post fires up the 3, and he knocks it down. Great start for Caledonia.
Fantastic start for DeBoz. We spoke about him at the top of the broadcast, and look, he heard us talking well about him.
Well, a lot of his points came going to the basket last week, but he showed his range there, and it's equally matched straight away with a 3 from Phillip.
Well, Mr. Brooklyn himself answers right back. I'm really happy for him to come back in, you know, after his injury, feeling good.
Oh. Well, Rob in the alley-oop there. Almost pulled off. Interesting that Caledonia starting Patrick Whelan at the point guard spot here. That ball bounced out of bounds from Ali Hodgic, so will be a London ball.
Yeah, Mike Tuck said that. At the beginning of the game, they put in Onwaz, which I thought the bench were incredible and really won the game from Caledonia last game. 53 points off of the bench.
Yeah, Jovicic is the man who misses out from the starting lineup, which is why they've got Whelan bringing the ball up. Olasheni with the mid-range knocks it down.
Olasheni, he was the MVP of last game, double-double.
Oh, slack on the transition defense there from London. Nobody picked up the shooter, and it cost them 3 points.
Well, both teams have started off hot. I'm glad to see that for the Gladiators, especially as they started awful. I'm sorry, they went 14-1.
Yeah, they really were poor last week in the first few minutes, but Luke Nelson, both teams scoring freely here in the opening couple of minutes. Here's Ali Hodgic with his back to basket, trying to go to work. No moving Olasheni, but good footwork. Couldn't get the finish. Olasheni up top, hands off to Nelson, and that's kind of his favorite shot, slightly falling away, doesn't drop.
Yeah, that is his favorite shot, especially when he gets his feet set. It's a good looking one. Shooters shoot, so hopefully he keeps that up all night, but makes a few.
Whelan finding his way to the basket. We talk all the time about Patrick Whelan's three-point shooting, but he's excellent at attacking the rim as well.
Yeah, fantastic. He had 23 points last game against the Giants.
Morgan round to Nelson. Walking down to the low post. Jenny squares up, same spot, a little short this time. DeVos. Back to Whelan. And he gets caught on the 3 and hits it. Patrick Whelan with a chance for a 4-point play.
A big and one. And there he goes, looks at his hand, gets into his shot. And the referees are all over this season. The shooter is going to be protected. They won't let them land with, nobody under their feet. And he hit his arm as well. So good 4-point play from Mr. Whelan.
Good signs for Caledonia early on. Whelan to the basket. Whelan for 3. Caledonia 4 of 5 from the floor.
And a much better start from Caledonia. They definitely put an emphasis in practice and would have said, boys, we've got to be better. And they are.
No doubt Gareth Murray would have been talking about that when he broke the film down. He's got very deep there, and he's got Whelan on his back, and that's a big mismatch, easy too.
And that's good offense by the Lions. When you can get that mismatch down low, Olasheni is not going to miss many of those.
He's almost. He fires up from 3-point range. That one's a little bit short. Good hands. Well, foul is called. He's gone across the wrist to get there, and that will be 2 free throws. Johnny Hodges has had his troubles here early on.
And here's this move by Gabe. And easy to call for the referees when there's that big hack slap down.
Well, when the cameraman was virtually in the same spot as the referee there, it was an easy spot.
Thank you, cameraman.
Well, 4 points already for Gabe. He's certainly had his way with this matchup in the first 3 or 4 minutes.
And Ovi talked about this mustache.
Yeah.
And he said he was bored in the summer. He had a lovely big beard, and he said I was over it, so I shaved it off, and he was going with a mustache.
Well, when he gets cold in the winter, I bet he'd come back.
Yeah,
with
you're
it.
right.
Game tied at 11 here, 3.5 minutes in, forcing him back out. Whelan, no room this time. Late in the shot clock here for Caledonia. 3-point shot goes up, and back iron, that will go all the way out of bounds and will be a London ball. Coach Kojic making his home debut here in London. You'll know, we talked about good hands from Onwas. That's what he really gives you. I mean, he's a glue guy out there on court, but defensively, he's always sniffing around the ball. Good block. But the Hornets is able to keep possession for Caledonia. Trying to flip it back. Again, late in the shot clock here. Caledonia need to get it away. Whelan in the corner. That's the guy you can't lose late in the shot clock.
You cannot leave him, you're right. Wide open with his feet set. He's going to bury that every single time.
Nelson on the high pick and roll. Out to Morgan on the wing. His 3 is off the mark. Hodgic. Back to Onwas. Round the screen, going all the way to the basket. There's a late whistle there, but I think Onwas is going to go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Onwas, we spoke about his defense. He was on the all-defensive team last season. Was with the same team, come back. And this is a nice move to the rim. Takes the foul. He does it all for me. A solid key player. A great signing to come back. A defensive guy, but is now looking for his offense.
His moment in the trophy final. It was his assist that found David Sloan in the corner. A lot of guys could have shot in that situation with the time ticking down. But
that was a really good game, wasn't it? They found a great shot in the corner, turned down good shots to find the best winning shot. I also need to shout out whoever made Gladiators uniform, the tartan down the side. I really like that. It's a nice touch.
They've got the cross swords on the back as well.
Yeah, I like that.
If you took the word Caledonia off, you'd know it was the Scottish team, that's for sure, as Onwas makes the free throw. Midway through the opening quarter. Caledonia 15 points on the board already, but they've given up 13 with an easy layup there for Phillip. Oh, and stolen away. Great pass as well, and Phillip is there again.
And that was so quick. Our cameraman didn't even catch the action. Phillip back-to-back layups. Look at this. To the left hand, falls, gets up, and then a steal. Wow, that might be the quickest back-to-back scores I've ever seen.
Well, 13-15 the score here at the Copper Box. We've got a timeout. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Copper Box. Lions fans in the house enjoying the opening 5 minutes here. Scores tied up at 15 points apiece. I get a feeling that the team that's going to take the lead is the one that's going to go on a defensive run first. The team has been able to get consecutive stops. Here's Whelan looking for room, turning the ball over. London on the run. Perhaps overpassing there, but it comes back out to Taylor into the game for the first time, and he strings it.
Isn't that nice to just come off the bench and be instant offense? I always came off the bench and then, you know, run the floor a bit, get a rebound. I never shot my first shot. I like to warm up into the game. Not him. Come out balling.
You know these point guards, though. They can do whatever they want. They've got the ball.
You're right. They got the green light.
Here's Whelan putting it on the floor, trying the shovel pass, back-to-back turnovers from the Gladiators. Just as we were talking about consecutive stops, London gets some. Phillip fires up the three. Easy rebound for Onwas. Rose with the pull-up from the foul line, knocks it down.
And nobody picked him up. That is a defensive lack and a mistake. That's an easy jump shot for DeBoss to hit every single time if nobody's going to guard him.
Well, he's obviously comfortable with that. Shot a few times. Morgan driving to the basket, and he will go to the free throw line. I believe the foul will be on Onwas.
Yeah, here it is. Onwas just slaps down, and that's so easy. Good call from the referee. We get to see it on the replay. Thank you. And just grabbing that hand, and he'll make his way to the free throw line.
Like Bose might have caught him as well as they first picked the ball up. Might have got 2 whacks on that one. And rattles out on the first free throw. Experienced crew chief Ed Udansky, supported by Josh Bowe and Rob Hickman, another one who's been covering British Basketball League games for as long as I can remember, to be honest with you. Rob's been around a long time.
That's showing your age.
Well, yeah.
Fine wine, you.
Yeah, I know.
And Kaboza in the game. Also the flying Josh Sharma and Dante Graham. Excuse me. Grantham. Let me get my pronunciation right?
There we go. Here's Whelan back at the point guard position. That's Taylor in front of him. Jovicic in for the first time. Whelan working the screen. That's a tough shot with Taylor. Got a hand on him. But he's able to knock it down.
Whelan is so good. When he's in rhythm and he's feeling good and confidence is key for him. Had a great game last game and wonderful this game as ball gets blocked.
Perfect shooting for Patrick Whelan so far. Double figures already, not missed a shot. Good extra pass on West though, as so many players do. That back foot just hits the sideline and turns the ball over. They've coughed it up a few times here. That's the 5th turnover of the game for Caledonia.
And there's Whelan, 8 points. Perfect from the line. And you're right, look, just that back heel always gets you, but the referee is looking for that.
Weird thing is, it never used to happen. They missed, that's going to be a backcourt violation, threw it into the backcourt. They just widened out the 3-point line by a little bit, and ever since, players have been stepping out of bounds, and you think most of these players probably never played on the old shorter 3-point line, so it's not like they've got to adjust to it.
Oh, that's showing my age, sorry. No, I didn't. I was young.
You didn't play on a trapezoid key, though,
yes,
did you?
Did you? Yeah, I did. And also, you know, their feet are pretty big, so some might not even fit in that little slot right there.
Some of us are old enough to have played on courts without 3-point lines.
Okay, I'm not that old.
Here's Jovicic. Kicking the ball back, there's going to be a foul. Great block by Sharma. It won't count or anything. Foul was called up top. First off.
Josh Sharma's in. Just the difference maker he makes on the defensive end. Obviously on the offensive end, he is just a dunking machine. But the defensive end, he changes so many shots. You're worried that your shot's going to get blocked.
Well, that's the thing, is it was all right going to the basket while he was on the bench. Whether Caledonia will, well, they go straight to it, but this time it's Grantham providing the rim protection.
Here we go, Grantham.
I'm not even sure he didn't block it, did he?
No.
He just went up and down.
Yeah, made him, second guess that shot, and it worked.
Yeah, I think Jovicic was waiting for a big swipe down. It never came. Taylor, nice spin in the key to the basket for the finger roll.
Beautiful move by him. Executed that to a T. Felt the defense on his back.
Jovicic kicks to the corner. That is Fraser Malcolm territory. He was rushed a little bit in that shot. We talked about the points off the bench last week against Manchester. He was really the spark of it with a couple of threes. That's going to be an offensive foul on Sharma for an illegal screen. That's another one that they've got their eye on this season, the referees.
Yep.
He was basically rolling before the screen had finished.
Yeah, and the screen's so important. Two reasons, because you need to get there in time quick enough, but your player with the ball needs to wait for you to set your screen. If he goes too early, it's usually a moving screen.
It's always the guard's fault, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll blame them. I was a post player, but my screens were deadly.
Buttrick with the fade away, doesn't go. Grantham slowing it down and then attacking through the contact and one. And that was just a little hesitation that created the space for him.
Yeah, that little hezzy. Look at this, we get to see it again, and floating.
It's not a great foul, to be honest with you.
Kind of like this 5 that London Lions have put in. This is all the bench play. Solid 5. And when you can go that deep into your bench, you can go very long ways into the championship. Obviously, they're getting ready to go to Europe. It's so key, and I think people forget how important a bench is.
Well, both these teams playing in Europe this season. Caledonia go from here to Turkey to play their qualifying game against Freiburg on Sunday. They've got to win 4 games to get through to the regular season. This is sort of like a playing game to get into the mini tournament, to get into the regular season.
There's so much in it to get in, right?
Yeah, they've got to play a lot of games. They're a little unfortunate to get put in the extra game with Freiburg.
But I think this is a good game leading up to it, right? You've obviously got the length of Sharma, you've got great shooters, you've got speed of the London Lions. If you can play at this level, this is definitely going to get you ready for your European game next week.
Well, even if they don't win all 4 of those games, they will drop into the FIBA Europe Cup, the second tier of FIBA. Oh, lobbed up to Sharma, just a little too high perhaps through his hands. So they will be playing European basketball in East Kilbride one way or the other. Caledonia. The ball is blocked by Sharma. Away comes Taylor, and he takes it all the way to the rim on his own, and London with a bit of momentum here late in the first quarter. And
that momentum comes from defense. Like I said, Sharma protecting the rim, and then they're off to the races on the offensive side.
So fast break points for London. We didn't see much of that last week against Surrey. They didn't quite get into the open court. Buttrick with the spin doesn't quite get there. London only had 7 points in transition in the whole of the game last week. Last few seconds, Taylor fires up the 3, and what life he's given London off the bench here in the first quarter. 3-pointer to close out the opening period, and it gives London a 27-19 lead. We will be right back after this break. Coming back to the copper box where the London Lions lead by 8. Azania, we were talking about how well Caledonia's bench unit had contributed to the offense last week. 11-0 to the Lions this week. London's bench bringing the points.
Yeah, the points are coming in as another bucket happens. Tariq Phillip, but then Jordan Taylor off of the bench. 9 points in 5 minutes. That's a nice stat line.
It certainly is, unless you're a Caledonia fan. Caledonia, you've got to find some way of slowing this London offense right now. 19 points in a quarter is not too bad, but London starting to get away here. As you see, even though Sharma didn't touch the ball, the fact he was flying through the air is why that shot came short.
Yeah, he makes a difference.
Him up in the air, throws it away.
Ransom with the jumping pass. I always got told off with that, because once you jump, you can't go anywhere else.
It's going to be a traveling violation. Little stumble through the key from Moore. Taylor didn't start the game, but boy, he's had an impact. 5 of 5 for 12 points. Trying to find Sharma, who bobbles it a bit, but is still able to score.
Way to stick with it. Josh Sharma. I got a Josh Sharma t-shirt. Do you have one?
No, I don't.
From last season. What about an Azania Stewart t-shirt?
I want one, but they all sold out.
Okay, I'll speak to my manager for you.
Buttrick firing up the 3. Look at the difference of points in the paint. 16-point difference, but the percentages you can see. And again, I think a lot of that is since Sharma has come onto the court.
Yeah, he's such a difference maker on the defensive end. He's 7 foot, long arms, good timing.
Here's Caboza again to the rim, double blocked. Light suddenly went out for Bradley Caboza as he got to the rim. And Jordan Taylor with the foul. 2 minutes into this second quarter. And the good finish that London had has been extended into a good start to this period as well. 7-0. They've begun this period.
Yep. And then they go to their bench. Mo Salawade now subs in, the marathon runner. He's been training in his off-season. Have you seen his Instagram?
Marathon running is proper commitment to running that.
It sure is. He's training for a full marathon next summer.
I've done a half. I don't think I'd ever run the full.
I'll never do it. Not for me.
Here he is along the baseline, running fast and finding Sharma going up strong and taking the contact. He will shoot 2. 32-19 here at the Copper Box. Drew Lasker, you've got an interested spectator with you.
I do, Dan. I'm here with the league MVP, Sam Decker, fresh off of off-season ankle surgery. Give us an update.
Things are going well. We're right on track. Started doing some stuff with the team and just slowly building up my strength, getting ready. And it's been a long road, some ups, some downs, but the team has been great. We've been handling business as we should be. And the guys are filling in great right now. So excited to get back out there with them, and we'll be on the court here soon.
And you inked a 3-year deal this offseason. Talk about how not only was that important for you, but your commitment to British basketball.
I mean, I care about it a lot. I care about not just this organization, but the league as a whole. We feel like we found a home here, and everyone's been so great to us. So to be a part of something growing, something special here is really fun. And having a team like this, I can't ask for more.
All right, well, I mean, I can't wait to get you out there, my man. What do you think of the game so far?
Good. The 15-point lead right now. Got to build this up. Caledonia came out with a lot of energy like they always do. It's just one of those things that you have to withstand their attacks. And we do that, we can just let our talent work and let our flow work. And, we're settling in now, and hopefully you can make a run here.
Well, we see you putting in the hard work on Instagram. We can't wait to see you out there on the court. Thanks for your time, Sam. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Joe. I don't think it'd be very long. Knowing Sam Decker, I'm sure it'll be actually the coach trying to hold him back rather than anything else.
Yeah, they sure are holding him back, but he has worked so hard on the off-season. I follow him on Instagram. He's been in, some lakes. He's been in pools doing rehab. He has a beautiful wife, Olivia, and a family who've just been supporting him. And he's in London for a fair few years and has committed to the London Lions. I just think he's such a great guy, on and off the ball, always polite. He has a great memory. It's one of his talents, he told me. And he spends time, he cares, and I'm excited for him to get back.
Well, as he said, MVP last year, signed up for 3 more years here at London, and very keen to help the growth of British basketball. And you couldn't, as you say, have a better advocate than Sam Decker to do that. As we get back underway, London with a 15-point lead here early in the second quarter. Sharma, who's played his part in building that lead, particularly defensively. Here's Morgan on to Sharma with a big one-handed throwdown.
Caught that one right back. And a beautiful offense by London Lions. The ball was shared to find the perfect shot in the perfect place for Sharma. Love that for him.
Gladiators still looking for their first score of this second quarter. There's nowhere in there for Ali Hodgic, and he throws it away. London in the open court again. And that will count. Foul is called. And Phillip
ran on the court to get the net out. Terrible timing. Look at this.
You've got to keep your eye almost blocked there. He's done well. Phillip through the contact and with the distraction of somebody pulling the net down.
That's a punishment. That's suicides, push-ups, a fine. Luckily, no one was hurt. And one. Phillip now with 9 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. Starting to fill the stat sheet up.
Well, looking to become the second London player into double figures. And they've only played 13 minutes. Caledonia in a massive hole here, trailing by 20. Well, we were talking at the top about their slow start to the first quarter last week. They've had a slow start to the second quarter here. And that's why they find themselves in a big hole.
7-0 run there. You can see it on the clock. They've got to score.
That was a long way short. Morgan to the basket, off the glass, almost another and one. He will shoot 2, though.
Caledonia needs to huddle here. Get together, talk about it. What do we want on offense? We need to be solid on the defensive end. We have to answer. We have to score. We cannot let this lead just get out of hand and, pack up, start the bus early and go home. That's not an option. It's too early in the game. They've got to answer.
Well, you talked about this being the right sort of game ahead of their Champions League qualifying game.
Best prep you could get.
Yeah, but what they don't want is to get a beating here and take that sort of with them. They've got to find some sort of response here in the second quarter.
Yeah, take a beating, hurt their confidence. They've got to answer. Patrick Whelan is the guy for that answer.
Well, he's the one player in double figures. He's got more than half his team's points. Lisa fires up, a little short. London again looking to push in transition, lobbed up to Morgan. Almost breaks it up, but it falls nicely for Gabe Olusheni, who's able to lay it home. Well, there have been 15 points scored in this second quarter, all of them by London.
Glad Morgan got up there. Just timed that alley-oop a little bit wrong and fell on the floor, so happy to see him up.
Well, London, you can see, spreading the scoring. Taylor came in off the bench in the first quarter and filled it up quickly. Phillips knocked some shots down. They went early to Olusheni. Sharma does what he does. Here's Whelan running out of time. And a shot clock violation, and the Gladiators are struggling to get any sort of decent look here.
Yeah, but fantastic defense from London Lions. They are rotating, they're talking, their defense looks solid, and that's the reason why the Gladiators are struggling to even get a shot up.
Nelson working with Olusheni on the pick and roll. Round to Morgan. Pass is deflected, but Nelson still has it late in the shot clock. Fires up the three. Rims out. Offensive rebound for Olusheni. Nelson cutting to the basket, and he takes the referee out as he was trying to make the call there at Udansky. Nelson will go to the line for two.
Well, this is why you have Gabe Olusheni on your team, constantly moving, constantly trying to find good rebounds. He's getting second shots for the Lions, and then ultimately gets the pass to Luke Nelson.
Well, it just shows it's always worth cutting if you've got a big man that can find you like that. Nelson can't turn it into an assist on the first one, but has a chance here with the second free throw. It down. Luke Nelson, 3 points to his name so far. Caledonia still looking for their first score of this second quarter. They've been outscored 16-0. It's 43-19. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Copper Box, where London thoroughly on top here in the second quarter. Caledonia still to score in this period. 16 points without reply. They just need something, anything. Problem is, you'd normally say go to the basket, but that hasn't been effective to them. Onwas is going to try, and he might be able to get some points from the free throw line.
Yeah, needed. And usually they would have a timeout, but they had the TV timeout that's been added this season. And Coach Gareth, we see Onwas drive to the basket. Coach Gareth probably really needed that timeout just to, you know, settle maybe nerves, I don't know, draw up a good play as Onwas got to the rim, regroup his guys and get it together.
Well, he wasn't the greatest free throw shooter in the league last year, Onwas, but they could do with these 2 points. Took under 60% from the line last year, and he goes 1 for 2 there.
Do you believe in commentators' curse?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good to know. I do.
Kieran Achara used to blame me when he fell off the all-time free throw leaders list when I pointed out on commentary that he was there and then he missed.
I really believe it because he just missed that second free throw after you said.
Yeah, well, it's because he's a 59% free throw shooter, not because I said it.
I'm blaming you.
I'm taking no responsibility. Well, they could do with something. If I say he's a great three-point shooter, will that work in reverse? They need some points here. Patrick Whelan trying to penetrate, but it comes back out to DeBose. Oh, Ali Hodzic was so open he didn't even realise it. Ended up going the long way around. Great work from Morgan to tip it off the rim.
And that's it. I don't even think guys are looking at the rim to score.
Morgan sizing up his points here. Patrick Whelan trying to penetrate, but it comes back out to DeBose. Oh, Ali Hodzic was so open he didn't even realise it. Ended up going the long way around. Great work from Morgan to tip it off the rim.
And that's it. I don't even think guys are looking at the rim to score.
Double team comes and then backs away. Morgan going the long way round. Osheni again on the offensive glass. Ali Hodzic knocks it away. Here's Whelan for three. And that's going to be a foul on Onwas. Coming over the back, 43-20. Drew has another A-list guest with him. Who have you got, Drew?
Hey, hold on a second, guys. We got Evan. 1 second, guys. He's talking in a minute. We'll be right back with him.
We'll get there in a second as Morgan makes the long walk down to the other end of the floor for the 2 free throws that London have got, because Caledonia already over the limit for this quarter.
And Onwas, with that foul, has 3 personal fouls, so he needs to be careful. Coach has subbed him out. It's a good sub. You don't want to pick up 4 fouls before the end of the first half.
Well, we talked about how important he is to their team, particularly defensively. Obviously inserted into the starting lineup today. Well, that's a tough shot. Mid-range with a hand in your face, but Paliza able to knock it down, and London with a sloppy mistake to turn that one over. Let's go back down to Drew.
Hey, well, sorry about that, guys. This guy's a busy man. We're talking about a 10-year former NBA player, Evan Turner. Evan, welcome to London, man. How you enjoying the city?
I love the city. I love England. Beautiful city. Checking on my boy Jordan Taylor. Went to a couple soccer games. Visited a couple good restaurants. So, you know, it's my 3rd time being back here in like a year. I love London.
Well, speaking of your boy, last time we connected was in Vegas. We had a little laugh, tongue-in-cheek about your boy. What is your thoughts on his game tonight?
Man, unbelievable. I told him to give me 8 points tonight, and he came out with 12, man. So he's doing his thing. I've always been a fan. He's a legend back home. He's going to build a great reputation over here. You guys got a great one.
Well, ironically, I just listened to your podcast yesterday with JJ Redick, and you were talking about how you would want to extend your career. There might be some room for you in British basketball, man.
You think if the Brits would accept me, hey, cheerio, I would. I would come. I would love. Obviously, I know Aaron. I pay great attention to Jordan and Sam Decker, and I understand what this country's doing with the game of basketball and how they're moving forward, the Euro Cup moves and everything like that. And once again, to have an opportunity to live in the city of London is no short opportunity. So it would always be something in my grasp.
Well, it's great to have you here. Thank you for supporting British basketball, my man. Guys, Evan Turner.
Wow, Drew Lasker turning his hand to agent work there. Get your 10% on that, Drew.
Yeah. And that podcast I was listening to also is JJ Redick's The Old Man and the Three. Great podcast.
No way. Oh, that's going to be a foul. I was about to say no way through for Patrick, but referee calling a foul on Morgan.
It's a fair few this hit as we got to see Evan Turner. Also, do you know who else is in London? Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler, yeah. He's in London as well. Media. Everyone's in town. It is one of the greatest cities.
Sure, we'll sign him up for Surrey or something before the night is out.
Yeah, but Evan Turner, great guy. He was with the USA team when I was with the Uni Games in Serbia. Incredible 6'8" point guard. Really lovely skills. Got drafted to the 76ers, if my memory serves me right.
It's good knowledge there,
Thank you.
Well, a couple more free throws for Caledonia. It's the field goals they've struggled with in this quarter now. Still stuck in the 20s with 3 minutes to go to halftime. They were going blow for blow with London through the first probably 8 minutes. And the wheels have kind of fallen off since then. Grantham throwing it down low. Olasheni too strong, but a foul is called on Ali Hodgic, so 2 more free throws for London.
Good move by him, really strong, physical. There's Coach Borzic, he's happy with the move, but I like that. Obviously I used to be a post player back in the day. I only retired in May, so not too long ago, but I just really appreciate when offenses start, feeding the big guy down low, let him go to work, but then, because what that does is open the floor for your shooters. The defense start to worry about the inside guy, which he is incredible. Obviously had a double-double last game and is on his way to another double-double this game, but then the floor is open. Shooters then can, take a shot, so good job by him.
Well, 10 minutes ago, Caledonia were up 1. They've scored 5 points since then. London have scored 31.
Point forward, Gabe Olasheni.
Kicks it out to Chouamani for 3 off the front of the iron.
I love the post player bringing up the ball too.
If he can handle the ball like that, yeah.
I call him a point forward.
Did you do it often?
Yeah, I did. About minimum 2-3 dribbles and get it out of my hands immediately.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, I stay in my lane. But you need it, like that. To start a transition break, a big man, that's incredible.
It's Grantham putting it on the floor, trying to bully his way to the basket and succeeding. Slowed it right down, but in off the window. London past the 50-point mark.
Yeah, London just too strong, too quick, too physical for the Gladiators.
Well, Caledonia a little shell-shocked here. I don't think they were expecting that. We talked about their bench points last week, just 2. Here's another alley-oop. Whelan breaks it up, but 22 points the other way. Here's Kyle Johnson. He blows the layup, and just nothing dropping for the Gladiators right now. This is an interesting challenge here, because psychologically you're looking up at the scoreboard, it's the thick end of 30 points between you and the other team, and you're thinking, how do we get back into this game? I know Gareth Murray will probably read them the riot act in the locker rooms at half-time.
Yeah, he'll be upset for sure, because he's a competitor. He played so tough, and I just don't think they're matching London Lions' energy. I do think what you can learn from this game is there's still 21 minutes and 26 seconds left of this game. Chip away, execute, set good screens, backdoors, work for each other. It's still a long time, and just, one possession at a time, get back into the game.
Well, Jeanette mentioned the fact they were swept last year by London. They've actually won 8 of their last 9 games against Caledonia here in London. That looks very much like going to 9 out of 10, unless Caledonia can find some way of turning it on at both ends of the floor, and you won't get back in the game giving up 3 chances like that.
No, and Gabe Olasheni, so big, so tall, you've got to box him out, you've got to, get him away from the rim. Good finish by him.
More setting the screen, round to Whelan on the near side. Trying to find it into the low post where they had a mismatch, but they couldn't get the pass there, and in the end, Moore will go to the line.
But can we talk about Jordan Taylor then on that? Look at him backing down and then jumping up to help. Great defensive possession by him. That's something that's not on the stat list.
Caledonia's issues run deep in this game. They're shooting in the 30 percentage-wise. They've missed a ton of free throws. They're 50% from the free throw line. They've got 2 of their starters in Omwas and Ali Hodgic on 3 fouls. It's not a good mix. Composer back to Taylor, who really sparked the run. That one almost dropped. It's his first miss of the game. He had been 5 of 5. Here's a big man bringing the ball down court. Not quite as smooth looking as Olasheni a moment or two ago.
Yeah, but good job by him. He was getting pestered. Look at this down the line. Nearly a double dribble. They call it a foul.
Well, Composer is a bit of a pest defensively.
Just a hard nose. Doesn't give up. Plays his role well.
All 3 of his points so far tonight coming from the free throw line. Make that 4. But shot clock switched off, so London can tick this one down to the buzzer and complete a very dominant first half. 27 in the first quarter, 26 so far in the second. Grantham looking to add to that, getting to the rim, throws it up high, too high. Olasheni's shot is blocked away. 3-quarter court heave will fall a long way short, but Caledonia don't even get into double figures in that quarter. London absolutely bossing it here at the Copper Box, 26-9. And most of those have come from the free throw line. They couldn't buy a field goal in that second quarter.
No, they were struggling on both ends. Couldn't stop the Lions on offense. The defense just fell apart. And then offensively, at times, couldn't even, get a shot off at the rim. They're going to have to regroup in this halftime. They need to talk and come out with a different energy.
1 for 11 Caledonia in that second quarter. One guy who had a massive impact on the game coming off the bench with 12 points, Jordan Taylor, and he is with Drew.
Thanks, Dan. Jordan, in Vegas, your boy Evan Turner was giving you a hard time about your MVP performance, but he said he was happy with your performance tonight so far.
Man, listen, don't listen to nothing that man say. I don't even know if he was here, man. He just talked. You can't give brothers money, man. You can't give brothers money. You know how it is.
Well, the Gladiators scored 19 points in the first quarter. You held them to 10 in the second. What defense adjustments did you make there?
I think we just played better as a unit. Better pressure, better intensity. It's really cliche, but, Coach preaches that all preseason, and he's Serbian, so he won't have nothing left. So we just have to find consistency in that.
I mean, it's hard to pick anything, but what part of your game you think you can clean up going into the second half?
Discipline. Greatness is consistency. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, the simple things over and over again. So that's something that we have to strive towards. We don't have to do anything special. It's the same things, same principles over and over again.
Thanks for your time, Jordan. Jeanette, back to you.
Thank you very much, Drew. Well, London Lions, absolute cruise control. We'll be back with halftime analysis right after this. Well, it is the London Lions up against the Caledonia Gladiators. And one interesting first half it's been. They really struggled to keep up in the first quarter. Then it was the second quarter. Jordan Taylor take a bow, an aggressive offensive masterclass from the Lions, doubling that score pretty quickly. The London Lions very much in charge of this one. The Gladiators with work to do. But can Pat Whelan replicate the form from last week to bring them back into this one? A tough one to take. And you look at those stats here. Mike Tuck, Obisoko alongside me. Mike, this is a really interesting game for the London Lions. They're completely dominating here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest thing that stands out to me immediately is 26 rebounds to 11. The London Lions are definitely putting in that work in the paint. And, Caledonia Gladiators, a great three-point outing to start, but really dried up there in that second quarter, not really be able to get any offensive flow. And then obviously down the other end, you got to stop them. Stop the bleeding when you are bleeding.
And it makes you actually think about that first quarter, because we were sat here thinking, wow, this is crazy. Like, they are actually, they're going at it. But actually, maybe the London Lions weren't quite awake yet there, Ovi.
Yeah, no, we sort of alluded to it while the game was going on. Patrick Whelan, obviously, he got that dog in him. He got off to an absolutely incredible start. However, after that, sort of like Mike said, they did slow down the Lions. They were able to bring in a couple guys off the bench. We've spoken about their depth, and they really ramped up the energy.
And some of those three-pointers that we saw in that first quarter, that really made us sit up and think, okay, we could be in for a game here. Yeah, definitely. And, most of those coming from Du Bois and Patrick Whelan, but I think that's the problem here for the Caledonia Gladiators is nobody else is stepping up on the other end. So second quarter really dried up, and they kind of went away from what was working for them. But here we see Patrick Whelan. Geez, when he gets his feet set, he is money from that three-point slot. And Jordan Taylor here, he came off the bench, immediate impact, 12 points right off the bat, coming in and setting the tone. Yeah, we can talk about Jordan Taylor. What a game he is having. This is a veteran player, mid-season signing from last year for the Lions, but what he's doing tonight is really special. We heard Evan Taylor, of course, speak about how great he is. No, he's a big-time player. This guy has played on a bigger stage. He's got EuroLeague experience, so, I'm sure there's not many situations that he hasn't seen. But here you go, again, sort of lighting him up from downtown. But, he came in and completely changed the dynamic of the game here, getting his big men involved, which keeps them engaged in the game. A real veteran. And you need a player like that, don't you, Mike? You need a player like that can come on and just really show his pedigree. Yeah, definitely. And for a guy who, has the resume that he has, but he's also comfortable just coming off the bench. He's an older player, a vet player. He doesn't need to be in the shining lights and the starting lineup. He can come in and have an effect coming off the bench. And we saw that, it was no problem for him. And that's the depth that people are going to have to deal with this season in London Lions. So much depth. But Gabe Olesheni, we spoke about him at the top of the show. Great game last week. Continuing that same form again, Ovi. Papa Olesheni, love what you're doing out there. Early he got to his mid-range, very, very comfortable down there. And then he's looking to be aggressive. He's looking to assert himself. He's looking to show that he's one of the bigger talents in the league. And one thing I do love about playing alongside him, watching him play, is he comes ready to play every single day. He does all of the little things. Again here, working that mismatch, working the rebounds. And yeah, just coming up with play after play after play for his team. Well, let's see what they can do in the second half. But before we get to that, rookie Kieran Sandy was just a kid when he first went to watch the London Lions play at the Copper Box. And he's got an attitude of gratitude.
I think I was 14 when I first watched Lions play. So it was very surreal for me, just being back home, playing, in front of my mum. Also just playing for the first club that I ever watched at the Copper Box. My name is Kieran Sandy, and I play for the London Lions. I grew up in North London. It was just me and my mum, so she had to work a lot just to provide for us. She sort of implemented that hard work, being on time, the discipline. That helped me a lot to discover who I am through those routines. I'm really grateful to her for that, and she instilled the amount of work that you need to put in to do anything to be great. I give all the credit to her, and I'm just glad that she's here to see the results of all of her hard work, and hopefully I make her proud every day that I step on the court.
Well, welcome back. London Lions against Caledonia Gladiators, 53-29. They are in absolute cruise control, the London Lions. So let's go and have a quick word with their head coach, Petr Bojcic.
Coach, you're down by 1 point and you go on a 25-0 run. What'd you like about that first half?
I mean, our defense was outstanding. Aggressiveness, that good defense, bring us some easy points from transition. And I'm very happy with that. We got to keep doing that in the second half as well.
And just quickly, 10 guys with over 6 minutes of game time. Talk about the importance of that depth.
I mean, that's something, especially with this schedule, that you need to have as a team, to have a deep bench. So I'm happy how they're doing as a team today.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Likewise.
Well, when you listen to that, it's a dream start for him, isn't it? He's come into this. He knew what the task was. He knew what the assignment was, and here he is just playing that out.
Yeah, well, we talked about it before the game, the pressure that he has on his shoulders. And obviously, first game at the Copper Box, you want to show out for the fans, show out for the organization. And what a great second quarter there, and what a great place to be in at halftime.
Absolutely. And for him coming into this, it's coming off the back of someone like Ryan Schmidt, who was there last season. You played under him. They're very different in their approach to this.
Surprisingly, I don't know. Everything I've heard, I would have expected him being a Serbian coach. Typically, they're very, very strict in their style of coaching. But as you could hear, they're absolutely cool as a cucumber, really, really laid back.
What do the Gladiators have to do, perhaps, to maybe try and get back into this as best they can?
Yeah, you're down. You're not all the way out, though. You have to stick with the game plan. I think for them, they kind of went away from what was working, and they got to keep executing. Stick with the game plan and just kind of trying to dig yourself out of that hole.
Well, let's see what they can do. Second half coming up soon, but of course, plenty of fixtures across the British Basketball League for you this weekend. You can see, of course, London Lions against Caledonia Gladiators. That's happening right now. Then tomorrow, it's the Bristol Flyers up against the Newcastle Eagles. That's at 7:20. Leicester Riders up against the Plymouth City Patriots at 7:35. Also tomorrow. Then on Saturday, Manchester Giants, London Lions back in action again. Our coverage starts at 10 to 8. And then the Cheshire Phoenix up against the Sheffield Sharks on Sunday to close out the weekend. Mike, I'm sure you'll be excited about that one.
Oh, we'll be locked in for that one, and everybody else better be too.
Well, we can hand you back to a commentary team tonight. Darren Rutledge and Azania Stewart for the second half.
Thank you very much, Jeanette. Yes, I'm sure it was quite an easy halftime team talk there for the Lions coaching staff. I guess the one thing that you say in this situation is, let's go out and play as if it's 0-0, not 53-29.
I think that's a good point. But I think, Gladiators need to come out aggressive, and that doesn't help your confidence when Gabriel Rodaseni comes and just blocks your shot for Whelan.
Whelan made his first 4 field goals of the first half. He's missed his last 3. But there have been a lot of misses as far as the Gladiators are concerned. And Morgan fires up the 3. Gladiators shooting sub 30% from the floor.
That's more like it, yeah. That's more like it. That's his style. And exactly the answer you need. We had our cup of tea and lipstick touch-up at halftime, and I hope they have figured it out and can build on that. But who's going to build on that is...
Well, it's not, unfortunately, for the Gladiators. This is the problem. Is you're 20-something down. There's no 20-point shot out there. It's how you psychologically take the scoreboard out and just try and do good things.
Yeah, I think so. And I think if I'm the Gladiators, that's what you want to build on, right? You're going to be tested. And Whelan hits that shot. You're going to be tested all season long, especially in Europe, but throughout the British Basketball League. How do you bounce back? How do you answer adversity?
Let's see over the next 20 minutes as Nelson fires up the 3 at the top of the key. What's he doing? Lees are trying to get it into Ali Hodges. Who got his work done early there. Good positioning, Olasheni over the back.
Yeah, really good positioning. When you work that hard, look at this. Working hard, posting up down low. Always get something good from it.
Well, as I say, they go from here off to Turkey for their Basketball Champions League qualifying, well, they hope it'll be a tournament. It could be one game, but it could be as many as 4 if they can keep winning.
And the Turkish love their basketball. Their fans are wild.
First game up is against Freiburg, who are nearly out of the competition. Administration error, and that's how they got back in, and why the Gladiators playing this pre-qualifier game. As they turn the ball over again, then they'll be hoping to take on Warsaw, the winner of that game, and it goes on. As I say, Gladiators would have to win 4 times to get into the regular season of the Basketball Champions League.
And that's Onwise's 4th foul. Picks it up early. He's going to have to potentially go to the bench. He is. Gareth can't afford him to be out the game all completely. But you know what? When you pick up that early foul, that first and that second, it just kills your momentum. It kills your confidence. Look, he's on the bench, and you just can't get in rhythm.
No, and we probably won't see him now until at least the 4th quarter.
Yep.
And depending on the game situation, he might not come in.
Yep, you might not see him at all because, you know, they do have a game next week. Do you save him? Or you just put him out there and go, listen, do what you can with your 1 foul. It's discipline. You've got to be smart. You've got to understand. You can't pick up that early foul, which he has.
And psychologically, this will not be that helpful to, I know you could, athletes, you just compartmentalize things and move on to the next one, but as we were talking at the top of the show, good example for them for what playing against the European caliber team. Obviously the Lions playing in Euro Cup this season. To be down 25 points is not what you want.
Yeah, this is definitely going to test their character. Who are they as a team?
Got 1 foot, nice shot to knock it down. That's his first field goal of the game. He's 0 for 4 from the floor.
It's a nice shot, though.
It did look pretty.
Very good.
Phillip, back to Morgan. Morgan this time putting it on the floor. A little head fake, gets the defenders up in the air, but he can't finish. Nelson coming, stealing the ball, tried to throw it off the legs of Buttrick, but missed them, so it'll be a Caledonia ball.
What I really like about the Lions defense is just their layers. You know, you get past one guy, you've got somebody else behind you. You know, Morgan was right there, and then Nelson steps up, is hustling, is constant, and like Coach Borjic said, he was very happy with the defense.
The other thing that Drew asked him about at halftime was the fact that the minutes were spread, but when you're up by this sort of margin, it becomes much easier to rotate everybody in and out. Everybody on the roster has played at least 6.5 minutes for London, and that's much easier to do at 59-36 than if it was 59-58.
Well, I think it's important also they do play again on Saturday. I'm on that game.
So am I.
Yes. You know, we're going to be the 1-2 punch all week for you. And so basically, I think that's also a key factor, right? You've got 2 games in such a short span. Share the minutes, get everyone confident, get everyone playing with each other. Is very important.
The Lions don't start their European campaign until the 4th of October. The Monterey of Venice come here, and they actually have a slightly unbalanced schedule. Oh, Nelson flying his way to the basket. And they have so many away games in the first half of the campaign. Just, I think it's 2 of their first 10 rounds are here at the Copper Box. And they've got a lot of away games. And, of course, at that level, it's very difficult to be winning on the road. An early timeout here. Cool. The lead is still 21 points. But some of this is about teaching moments, making sure that the team is doing the right things, not leaving the boats wide open in the corner for 3.
Correct. And coach, you know, stop that right now, timeout, let's talk about it. But I do like the Caledonia Gladiators. They have answered, they've managed to get multiple possessions, good looks, managing to hit shots. A good answer from them.
Having his timeout. We'll see London Lions in action again next Thursday here on Sky Sports. Bristol Flyers coming to the Copper Box. That one begins at 7:30 on Thursday night. Make sure you join us for that one.
And Bristol Flyers, I had them the other day. the highlights
Yeah,
at the
don't
bottom,
forget
but the
you can
Bristol
catch
Flyers, yeah.
all the highlights on the BBL YouTube channel. We've got more content for you inside the paint to get the lowdown on everything that's going on in the British Basketball League this weekend.
Just talking about the Bristol Flyers, they had Patriots and they destroyed them. I thought they played really comfortable, but they looked good. They were fast, they were sharp. I really enjoyed calling that game.
It was very similar to, obviously they've made a few changes in the summer, Bristol, similar to last year, the way they crash the offensive rebound, try and get second chance points. Obviously their best ever season last year, and Coach Kapoulis and co will be looking to build on that.
Yeah, they were third last season, weren't they?
Tied with Leicester for the same record, but Leicester had the head-to-head. Got to go up here. Shot clock's about to expire. Phillip leaves it short.
Stopped on the dime though, didn't he? He knew the shot clock was running down.
He's attacking the basket through the contact. Everything but the finish. We saw last week against Manchester, he was able to get to the rim. Ovi was talking about it at the top of the show, but it's been much more difficult this week to break through that first line. And if you do get through, there's usually a second and a third line as well.
Yeah, but he's so strong. That first step is really, really quick. He got to his left hand dribble, and also just being, you know, assertive this second half. Take offense, be offended by how many points you're down by. Put the team on your back and go to work.
They're just slowly chipping away at this. They've made the better start. Yeah, made the better start here with 14 of the first 20 points in this third quarter. Got the gap down to 16, which feels a lot more manageable. Foul called as Olusheni going to the basket, but this has been another one of the problems. Is they've got themselves in foul trouble. I think if that's on Ali Hodgich, that's his fourth foul, and they've struggled when London have gone to the rim with London's size and their talent in that position as well.
The first, yeah. And he's one rebound away with that stat that just came up. One rebound away from 2 double-doubles in a row.
I think he's going to have a few this year. Over under somewhere around 20 probably.
Yep, you're right. He had 10 rebounds last game. He just needs one more, which I think he'll get. Let's see what the boss does now. I need him to be aggressive, get to the rim. Good defense.
Just to kick it back out to Ali Hodgich, who knocked it down. That last foul, by the way, was on DeBose, so it wasn't on Ali Hodgich, which way still out on court as he knocks it down from the elbow.
A good shot by Ali Hodgich there, that 15-footer. Good answer.
He kicks to the corner. Caledonia really haven't had any transition at all today, and London back to stop it. Grant pulls in the rebound. Look at the points in the paint. I mean, just on volume, that's 24 extra points. Never mind the percentages. Olusheni trying to force his way home. Well, the first slap was clean. The second one wasn't there. London, well, their lead is dwindled a little bit. 61-45 timeout called. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Copper Box. 61-45 London lead. Obviously, their lead was as big as 27. Let's get the views of Ovi Soko and Mike Tuck. Mike, when you're down big, what's the key to trying to haul yourself back into the game?
Well, I think the biggest thing is not to look at the score and think of the hole you're in, but try and break down the game into, let's win this next 5 minutes. Let's get as many stops as we can in the next couple of possessions. Break it down. Let's just win this possession and play as hard as we can every time we have the ball.
Ovi, the other end of the floor, you obviously played for the Lions. There would have been times where you had big leads like this. How do you avoid that sort of complacency kicking in?
I mean, Jordan Taylor sort of alluded to it at halftime a little bit. It's all about habits. Anytime you're trying to build a team, anytime you're working on structure, it's the habits that sort of last, especially later on in the season when they're going to need to depend on them.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, Jordan's interview at halftime. You liked that quote and you wrote it down.
I did. Greatness is consistent. And I think both the boys made a great point. Mike Tuck says, hey, just one possession at a time. Break it down. Take your time. Let's win this defensive possession. Let's win this offensive possession. And just slowly but surely, you're back into the game.
Well, they've taken 10 points out of it in this quarter. 18 points to 8. They lead this period. And a chance to add yet further with a defensive stop. And this is one of those things when you've led by 27... Suddenly, if it gets to single figures, the both attacking hard, went for the finger roll. I think he went for the dunk and didn't quite get the elevation. Grantham driving in, and I think, that's going to be a blocking foul because Ali Hodzic was inside the no charge circle, so he couldn't take a charge. And that's going to be his 4th personal foul. He's moving sideways as well.
Yep. Grantham, good idea. He saw his eyes look at the rim and then straight to the floor to see where he was going to land. Smart play. If you can't, if you know you can't score, safety first.
Well, Ali Hodzic joins Onwas on the bench on 4 fouls. There's nobody else in foul trouble for the Gladiators, but that's obviously 2 of their starters.
Yeah.
Who we won't see for a fair while, just at the point at which they've started to get some momentum.
I spoke to Dante and just spoke about, who inspired you to play basketball, and he actually said his sister.
Okay.
His sister played at East Tennessee State and really just looked up to her, so I thought that was quite incredible that that's what got him into playing basketball.
So often it is a member of the family that inspires somebody, whether it's your parents or your elder sibling. Up top, strings the 3, and he's starting to find a bit of rhythm after a slow start to his game. He's up to 9.
And that's the good answer we were speaking about.
Caboza replies with 3 of his own.
And a technical. Gareth isn't happy.
I think he was wanting a moving screen, which is why Caboza was so open on the 3-point shot. But whatever he said, the referee didn't like. And as a result, Luke Nelson will go to the free throw line for a technical foul shot.
Chef Nelson, we should call him, because he likes to cook in his free time. Or he just chefs it up on the court, one or the other.
Both work.
Yep.
The triple last year, matching the feats of his dad, Steve.
Comes from a big basketball family, don't they?
Actually old enough to have commentated on Steve.
Okay.
A bit worried.
We'll do a fine wine today, okay? What else do you want?
Buttering. Try and look at Caboza again.
Locked in, look at him.
Caboza with a little, both with a little step back from Caboza. Bobbles the rebound. Caledonia keep possession. More inside, trying to go over Sharma, falling short, and Sharma pulls in the rebound.
And look how good that was from Sharma. Just jumped right up and down. Foul call, but that's what I was talking about with Sharma's length. He is a 7-footer, so long. Once he puts those hands up in the air, it's so tough to score against a long, lean and athletic post player like him.
67-50 London lead. Drew Lasker down on court side. What have you seen, Drew?
Well, Dan, earlier you and Azania was talking about this London Lions schedule, and I got an opportunity to speak with GM Brett Berman earlier in the week. Just asked him what he thought of the season, and he said he was excited, but he was scared about what was to come. The London Lions will complete 80% of their schedule before the end of January. To put that in context, that's 48 out of their 60 games played before February. Wow. So health is going to be key with this team this year.
So it is, yeah. And they'll work up the air miles, as I say, because so many of their early round games in the Euro Cup are on the road, and that is a competition where general rule of thumb, win your home games, sneak 1 or 2 on the road, and you'll be in a decent seeding come playoff time.
Yeah, and here's the foul, easy to see, but you're right. And this is why it's so important what I spoke about earlier, the bench. The depth of the bench is key, especially when you're playing that many games in a short period of time. You've got to rotate guys, you've got to make sure guys can play, and this is why you do have all your guys play minutes in a game like this, to feel comfortable, to get the nerves out, to feel together as a team, gel, your chemistry, all these things, you know, you're building in practice, but once you get in the game, it's a different story. So, you know, they do have a hard schedule coming up this season, but no doubt I think they'll be ready.
Well, also for guys like Morgan and Grantham to get used to playing in this building, their home debut, of course. Obviously, the likes of Sharma and Nelson Kaboza more than comfortable here at the Copper Box.
Yeah, and you still got Sam Decker to come in a couple weeks. Will help.
Whelan driving to the basket. Sharma changing the shot. Whelan looking at the referees for a whistle that isn't coming his way.
And also Matt Morgan.
Yeah, Matt Morgan yet to play for the Lions this season, along with Decker and Kareem Quealy as well.
Yeah, Quealy is getting closer and closer. He's been injured, and I've seen him work really hard in the off-season. Also, he's not too far behind. It's just building that confidence down. Once you've had an injury, getting back to playing, it's pretty tough.
There's so much of last season through injury, Kareem Quealy. Hopefully when he gets back, he'll be able to get a run of games to get in as Moore goes and tries to punch one home. And plenty of contact on that. No foul, so it'll be a sideline ball.
I did think there was a hit to the head there. We get the luxury. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe not.
Well, I think that's a foul, Azania. I think you're all going to the rim and somebody makes that sort of contact. You're looking at the referee.
Well, you don't have a burgundy shirt or a whistle, so...
Not on me.
And they've got a new uniform, the referees. They're looking dashing with the new British Basketball League B. And they look good.
Ray Hickman there just spotting a little damp patch that needs sorting out, but you can see the brains trust of Caledonia behind Nelson. A lot of thinking to be done here in terms of how they start to turn things around. Lobbed up to Sharma, who jams it in.
Wow. Love that. We were waiting for a Josh Sharma highlight. Thank you very much, Mr. Sharma.
Lions are used to victory here. They've lost just one of their last 26 games at home in domestic competition.
Oh, sorry. That was nice. Boss gets off Kaboza, stops on the dime.
Shot clock switched off, so London can run this down. A quarter that didn't start very well for them, but has finished reasonably profitably. As Nelson stumbles his way through, he will go to the line for 2. I think at one point in this quarter, Caledonia were 10 points up, If these 2 free throws, 10 points up in the quarter, if these 2 free throws go in.
Yeah, Caledonia only scored 10 points in that second quarter, and now they're already on 22, so a much better quarter. This is what I was talking about. Build on possessions, build on that confidence. Okay, you're losing, but how do you know, answer? And I think they've done a pretty good job, especially Caboza. DeBoss, sorry. He's got 15 points.
Problem is London have come back and will only lose this quarter by a couple unless Caledonia score here. DeBoss drives in off the glass, and it rims out. And that will do it for the third quarter here in London. Josh Sharma and co. flying through the air for a comfortable lead. Lions up big, fourth quarter, right after this break. Welcome back to the Copper Box. 10 minutes to play here in London. The Lions, who really took control of the game, the end of the first quarter and into the second, where they scored 25 points in a row. Caledonia missed, I think it was 11 field goals consecutively. The game really ran away. Bit of a run early in the third quarter from the Scottish side, but it appears to have been weathered by London.
Yeah, it's all been DeBoss. I think he's done really well, being more aggressive, and then even there getting that steal and causing Josh Sharma to foul him. Just putting the brakes on, so Sharma fell in his back.
Lobs it up to Moore, who jams it in. Sharma on the receiving end for once.
Lovely answer from Caledonia. This is the energy that I wanted. Keep feeling good, work hard on both ends.
And Sharma trying to get it right back as Phillip threw up the alley-oop, but unable to hang on to it. You can see the lineup from the two teams. Obviously Caledonia hampered by Almut and Ali Hodzic being on 4 fouls. So too is Jordan Taylor for London, but to be honest with you, he did his damage in 2 or 3 minutes in the first quarter, and he could almost put his feet up after that.
Came off the bench.
Didn't see the shot clock and just dribbled into a 24-second violation.
Disaster of possession there. They were doing so well, just the ball stuck way too long.
I'm sure those sorts of mistakes are the mental ones like that are it's scoreboard related. You've had a tough day at the office, and certainly you get breakdowns like that, because pro players normally have a clock ticking in their head. They normally know roughly where it is. He didn't seem to know anywhere.
Right. And another turnover for them.
Moore looking for options. Takes it in himself to the turnaround. Has to toss it up high. Nice finish.
Lovely shot. Nice option. That's how, you know, you get the big fella off of you. Turnaround jump shot. Nice arcing shot.
Nelson skips it cross court. Phillip lines up the three. Back iron. Patrick's able to beat the ball to the end line. Early
Rebound.
shot. Yeah, it's a good rebound. Going to get called for the foul.
Yeah, Buckrick.
Morgan out. See if we can see it from the baseline camera. Tough to tell. Might have been in contact at the head. Luke Nelson crosses mid-court. 2.5 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. Great pass. That's a lovely pass. Doesn't get the assist it deserves. And I'm sure Coach Murray won't be pleased with the space that Grantham was given in the corner. Ross has been the main source of resistance in the second half.
Yep.
Nice behind the back and the two-handed throwdown. Pump of the fist from Grantham to the crowd.
Yep, that will get the crowd back into it, and us too, behind the back and rock the rim.
Certainly liven the crowd up, obviously 20. You always want to see the other team come back a little bit just to make it exciting, as Caledonia do get 3 points back. Nelson with the step back. So Whelan hit a 4-point play in the first half. Nelson wasn't too far away from returning the favor there, but he will go to the line for 3.
Yeah, and I spoke about this earlier. Referees are all over this. You've got to let the shooter land correctly with lots of space. And so he will go to the free throw line for 3 shots.
I think his hands are a little damp, so he's just after a towel before he shoots the free throws. .74.5% from the free throw line last year. Luke Nelson.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Like, hold on, let me go wipe my hands. I've seen the ball bin, wipe, but like, hey, referee, I'll be right back. Let me just go wipe my face and hands so I can make all my free throws. I don't know if I've ever had, the luxury of that.
Somebody coming in and dabbing your head.
I mean, I did have my makeup lady just coming. You're right. Okay, I do. It's a different world now. I've got to be beautiful for the camera and you.
Nelson converts from the free throw line. He will go back to the bench now. We may have seen the last of him for today. He's certainly...
Yeah, 10 points from him. Good day at the office. He deserves the round of applause.
31 free throw attempts for the Lions. Have only missed 4, sorry. Patrick driving along the baseline, lost the ball. Lost it himself, and it will be the Lions' ball.
They lost the ball there, but just more aggressiveness. I liked it. It was sharper, looking to attack. Okay, good hands, but they just look a little bit better. I felt like the first quarter, they were, looked really good, and then that second quarter, they just went to sleep and fell off. Or was that London Lions defense? I don't know.
Well, I think it was a little bit of both, wasn't it? I mean, Lions did. It coincided with when the end of the first quarter into the second quarter, when Taylor came in and made a load of shots, and Sharma changed a load of shots at the rim, and then you get that mental scoreboard pressure thing where Oh no, it's 12, it's 14, it's 18, it's 22. And suddenly you're in a massive hole and the basket gets smaller.
And there's a little man on top of the rim that just keeps
just
shooing.
wiping them away.
Shoos the ball away.
Well, Butchik will go to the line, but it's certainly a learning moment, I would say, for the Gladiators and for Coach Murray. I'm sure he'll be using this to say, okay, so now we've seen what the level is. London are obviously defending champions. This is where we need to be to not only domestically but Europe as well.
Yep. And these teams will see each other 3 more times, right? You play 2 at home and 2 away. So they'll get another chance, multiple chances.
Sharma caught on the head, will shoot 2. But again, we've talked a lot about London and the depth, and Drew talked about it, and the amount of games that they've got to play. But Gladiators, as I say, will have quite a few European games themselves. Can't give an exact number on it because it depends on which competition they fall into, whether they can get through qualifying.
Yeah, it's a big week for them coming up. And I don't think this game helped them. You would want to, you know, perform well, feel good, confidence. So they've really got to go back to the drawing board and be ready for next week before they go to Turkey.
Well, presumably they'll go from here because the game is on Sunday. I would presume they would get a flight from London rather than go all the way back up to East Kilbride. DeBoe's driving in. Sharma pulls down the rebound. Morgan let's fly with the 3, just a little bit short, not quite. Oh, great finish from Grantham, cleaning up the miss.
Grantham having a lovely game. The right time, right place.
I was about to say, not quite had his shooting touch, not the typical Conor Morgan game in terms of the shots he can knock down. Spread it around the team, London. That's a little high, but Malcolm able to pull it in. It ends up being a turnover anyway.
Philip is so good at that, isn't he? Just kind of gets his hand in from behind. He's so sneaky. Causes that turnover.
It's quite long. I think you've got the pass over him and his fingers get to it. Shalawadi steps into the 3. And there's Morgan on the offensive glass. And that's deflected out off a Caledonia player. 87-61 here at the Copper Box. We'll be right back with the finish after this break. Welcome back to London, where the home fans certainly have enjoyed themselves tonight. Maybe not so for those who've travelled down from north of the border. But maybe they're travelling on to Turkey as well, some of these fans. You never know. I've been reliably informed that they are flying out from London tomorrow, Caledonia, ahead of their game against Freiburg on Sunday. That shot well overcooked.
Seen a lot of Kyle Johnson this evening.
No, very limited minutes.
Just subbed in the corner there, number 5.
Just 3 minutes for him so far tonight. Holding foul called on Sholawade. Just on the screen, you see it just grabs him around the waist to not allow more to get to the basket. Jovic as well has played limited minutes for the Gladiators. Bearing in mind he started last week. Butcher gets Morgan up in the air. The pass forces a difficult shot late in the shot clock. Jovicic's 3 is off the mark. Shot the 3 reasonably well, Caledonia, today. Certainly better than London have, but there's not much else they've done better than London. Good ball movement. Sandy in the corner. He knocks down a triple.
You asked for a 3-point shot, and there it is. Yeah.
It's only their 6th make of the game.
Talking about draw the defense in, everyone on the team touch the ball, and then execute at a 3-point shot in the corner. Here it is, look.
It's the extra pass, and there he is. What a great moment for him. We saw the piece at halftime talking about him. You know, here's a kid who 6-7 years ago said on social media, hopefully I'll play for the Lions one day, and here he is making his home debut at the Copper Box.
Yeah, nice finish there. It's a great story. Actually grew up in my hometown. I had no idea that he grew up in North London, and he's a really nice story. His mum said that, you know, it's either basketball or nothing, so gave him an ultimatum, figure it out, try it out, and he loved it. And he's just been building and building and playing really good minutes off the bench.
Well, you got to do what your mum tells you.
Yeah, it's very true. Listen to your mum; she knows best. And he's also an actor. He was a young actor growing up. He's got a few silent witness, is what he was in. Yeah, he's a young kid.
It's a good credit to have to your name. Sholawade to 3 off left. Good hustle on the rebound from Sandy. Kaboza steps into space. He does have the ability to make circus-type shots. He was slightly off the mark, and he ends up finding an assist instead. Sholawade for 3.
And finally, Mo hits a 3. Good effort on the defense. On the offensive glass.
Jimenez around the high screen. His pass is over the top of Johnson and out of bounds.
And he took the referee's head off, didn't he? Glad
reactions from Rob Hickman on the baseline.
Quick reflexes. Good job, ref. We need you in the game.
Well, inside the final 2, this one's got back out to 30. There was a moment or 2 in the 3rd quarter where Caledonia had got it down to 14, and you were wondering if the big comeback was possibly on, but London quickly snuffed that out.
They sure did. And I get to pick the MVP of the game.
Not an easy pick today, is it?
No, I know.
I'm just looking at the stats. Understanding on 14, Nelson on 13, Phillip on 12, Taylor on 12, Grantham on 12. You can't spread the offense much more than that.
Very difficult. I have the difficult job, and I think I'm going to go with Gabe, Moustache King, just because he's solid. 14 points. He had 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. I like
that double-double that you were tipping him for. And to be honest with you, given it's so difficult, you can't get it wrong, can you?
No, if you're doing it on both ends. There he is. Moustache is killer. It looks fake, doesn't it? Like, what's his name? Mr. Potato Head, that you can just, like, pop it off. You can pop it off.
I was thinking more Tom Selleck, because it's quite a thick moustache he's got.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely,
he definitely rocks it, though. He looks good. He said, uncle. And I said, what, rich uncle vibes? He's like, not that look yet.
Here's Taylor, who's another one in the running for MVP. Certainly his work in the first quarter really helped London motor on. More off the mark for 3. Shot clock is still on, but this will be the last shooting attempt that London will take in this game. They've got such an excellent record at home over the last couple of years, going back to April 22. They've only lost once, and they were never really in any danger of adding to that today. Pretty much from tip to buzzer, Caledonia kept with them for about 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Since then,
it's too much
one-way traffic.
Yeah, too much, too strong, too fast, too quick. I just felt like they also had a stronger bench. Their bench came in and was solid, where last game for Caledonia, their bench was strong.
39 points for the Lions off the bench.
Yeah, solid.
Gladiators have got to 22, although a lot of that has been later on with the contributions of Buttrick and Moore.
Yeah,
filling it up early on.
Well, this is what's difficult about Caledonia, right? They're getting on a plane and going straight to Turkey. They've got to figure it out very, very quickly.
Gladiators will dribble this one out, but the champions are back in town, and they have sent out a message to the rest of the league. An absolutely dominant display from the London Lions, 93-65. One of the difficult things from the other teams in the league point of view is it's hard to pick out who is the absolute top-level superstar of this team, because you've got bits from different places. They've still got Matt Morgan to add. They've still got Sam Decker to add.
Yeah, and I do think so. But what I do like, what they're doing, they're playing as a unit. They're playing as a team. They're sharing the ball. You know, everyone's getting their shots. But it's easy to say that when you're winning a game by 30 points. Coach Borjek is smiling, and that's a lovely shot by him. Obviously happy to get the home win. But also good feelings, right? That's a good feeling to play everyone and to get the win in front of your home crowd, always important.
Well, the guys in the studio talking about the fact that he has got pressure on him. Obviously, you come to the London Lions, you're expected to win domestically. They'll want to do better this year in Europe than they did last year, so there is a lot of pressure on him. It's great for him to get off to a winning start in front of his home fans. 2-0 in the league.
Yeah, I spoke to him actually, and I said, you know, there's pressure around going back to back, doing great, and he said, you know, I know that, and this is why I took this job. We spoke about it at the beginning of the season, and it's something I can take, and I want the challenge, and he's the guy for it.
Well, Gareth Murray in a huddle with his team. You could see the faces very different from one end of the floor to the other. All smiles for the London Lions. And why not? They've got their home campaign off to not only a winning start, but a very impressive performance. A few little bits that I'm sure they'll want to clean up. They'll want to shoot the three-point shot a little better, but you know, that's what coaches want, a good win and some learning moments as well.
Yeah, I think if you can just build game by game, get confidence, also be, you know, learn lots of different things. You can now cut film and go look at things and be quite critical. But overall, I thought it was quite excellent.
Well, a good win for the London Lions. Let's hear from the MVP. He's with you.
Gabe, the Gladiators scored 93 points on Sunday. You held them to 65. Talk about that defensive execution.
Yeah, I think early on we didn't come out with the right attitude. Obviously, we wanted to get out and run, but on the other end, we weren't coming back defensively. So, coach gave us a good talking to. A lot of the vets stepped up, like JT, Tariq, Sam. They were in our air doing a lot of those initial timeouts, and we turned it up.
And you played all over Spain, Italy, Germany, Turkey. Describe to us how good it feels to be home.
I mean, it feels great to be home. Obviously, one of the main reasons I came back were a lot of my teammates on the national team, and growing up 20 minutes from here, saving up my pocket money, trying to work out on this court. So, I mean, it feels great. The league is developing. It's going in the right direction. I just want to be a part of that. They had a lot of success last season, so like I said, I just want to be part of the culture and contribute to winning.
And finally, be honest with me. You think I can pull off that mustache?
Very few people can. A lot of people are cool, but very few answer the call. So you can definitely do it. You can definitely do it.
When you win like that, you can look however you want to, man. Great job, man. Back to you guys.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Drew, Dan, and Azania. Well, the London Lions really did roar at home, didn't they? And a masterclass with Gabe Olasheni there involved heavily. Statistically, it's actually a better second half from the Gladiators, but nowhere near enough for the victory. A dream start for the London Lions. Petar Bojic, his start has been amazing. To be able to win that game at home, a home debut, is great. But for the Gladiators, I'm sure a post-mortem to work on a few things ahead of their next game. So let's look at some of these stats that came from this game. Mike Tuck alongside me. I mean, not much changed from that first half, but this second half, it just really showed their dominance in the London Lions.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, one of the stats that isn't up there is points in the paint, and that's where the London Lions really, really dominated tonight. You know, not the best night from the three-point line, just under 30% there, but points in the paint and total rebounds, second chance points. The London Lions were playing super aggressive on both ends of the floor, you know, up in their face on the defensive end, which was creating early and fast offense for them, and then sticking with it, you know, finding the big fella in the middle, Ola Vaseni, MVP for performance from him tonight.
Yeah, it was a brilliant performance from them tonight. Let's get the thoughts, though, of Petar Bojic, the head coach of London Lions.
Hey, Coach, we look at this roster and we think about offense, but you hold Surrey to 28%, you hold the Gladiators to 36%. Talk about the potential of this team defensively.
Well, that's the point of emphasis on every practice. I think we can help ourselves with a good, strong defense, which is going to lead us to some easy points from transition, and the guys did an amazing job with that tonight.
But let's talk about the offense. You guys had 4 guys in double figures, 2 guys on the brink with 9 points. How dangerous can this team be when you're firing on all cylinders?
Dangerous. I like to say efficient. I think that's just the product of the teamwork, what happened tonight. And we'll go day by day. So I'm very happy how we played tonight, and we'll see how efficient we're going to be in the future, for sure.
And you guys are only scratching the surface. You got 2 more guys that's in street clothes that can put up 40 at any time. You guys are in good hands. Good performance there, Coach.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant stuff there. And it really was an offensive masterclass, wasn't it, Ovi? Just to see what they were able to do. The depth, I think, is a scary thing for the London Lions.
I mean, they have so many weapons, and that's with 2 of potentially their best scorers sitting on the bench still. So I think it really speaks to sort of how many guys they have, what they're capable of doing, and to sort of look at it and feel like they've only just scratched the surface. I think that's even scarier.
And that's the main thing. What we're seeing is consistency. It's only been 2 games in, but we're really starting to see where the big players are. Gabe Olasheni being one of them, of course, the MVP of this game, Mike.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a testament to them bringing in the right coach, bringing back the right players from last season, and then adding those perfect pieces that will fit right in. And Olasheni, obviously, he was the man of the night tonight. Last week, MVP performance with a double-double, 13 and 10, and then picks up right where he left off tonight. Little 15-foot jumper from him there, but they were looking to get him inside early. You see here, he was taking care of business. Early seals, doing his work down low. Second chance points. He was doing a little bit of everything here. Very efficient in his minutes, too. Didn't play the whole game. But there we go, another second chance point for him, kicking it out. What a player for the London Lions, and a great British talent to be back in this league.
And, you know, there, look at that. In terms of the stats there, Ovi, we looked at this at the start of the game, Olasheni versus Dubose. It was quite interesting to see those kind of stats. But again, it just goes to show why he's quite consistent.
Yeah, no, Gabe comes ready to play every single game, as you can see here. And he alluded to it in his interview after the game, sort of saying they didn't come out with the right attitude. And that just shows where his mind is. You know, he shoots a good field goal percentage because he takes the right shots. He's able to get other guys involved. He rebounds. He does all the little dirty things that maybe all of his teammates don't like to do, you know. So I feel like anytime you have someone like that out there with you on the floor, you appreciate him as a teammate and as a fan.
So I guess now for the Gladiators, do they go back? They don't panic, do they? This is a London Lions team they're really coming out and they've set in their stall. They've got European ambition, and it's clear, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting on a plane into Turkey and heading into another game. So for them, it's about short-term memory loss. You know, kind of learn from these mistakes, but then forget about it. We got to get on to the next one right away.
Yeah, straight away. We can have a look at what that now means for the league. Of course, this is the first game of game week number 2 here in the British Basketball League. And there they are, the London Lions, 2 of 2. They've both won those games. And then, of course, the Bristol Flyers, Cheshire Phoenix and the Newcastle Eagles all follow. Sheffield Sharks also off the mark. No, you're not off the mark. Sorry, that's my bad. I apologise.
0-1.
I apologise. It's okay. It's all right.
Season.
But you might be. It's a long season. Let's look at the fixtures for this week. Tomorrow it is the Bristol Flyers against the Newcastle Eagles. Our coverage starts at 7:20. Leicester Riders 7:35. They take on the Plymouth City Patriots. And at 10-8, it's the Manchester Giants. London Lions back in action again. That depth is going to have to go some way again against the Giants. And then on Sunday, to close out the weekend, Cheshire Phoenix against the Sheffield Sharks. And like I say, it's my vision. You will have marks off the board, Mike.
Oh, definitely. No, I'm excited. Kipper Nichols back in the mix. We've got Ronnie Glasgow Jr., Marcus Delpeche, both ready to come back from injury further on down the line, but it's an exciting season. Moving into the new arena, exciting.
And how do you feel, though? You know, I mean, we saw some veterans on the court tonight. You want to go back out there?
I'm good.
I just wanted to check. But thank you very much to Mike and, of course, Ovi, as always. Thank you to you as well. It's the first day of the big game week 2 here in the British Basketball League. We'll see you soon.